So what I remember us doing is us like interrogating him, looking through all the shit, then interrogating the lady as well.
Yeah,
but she
Lady
was like,
Lady Lamara. Before
Yeah.
that, you talked to the pirates.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right, we met up with the One-Eyed Wench crew.
They were not happy to see us.
Yes.
We prevented them from coming in and trying to free their crew, or at least launching an attack.
Well, you provided them a shortcut.
Like that. We got them.
I don't know how you.
So you all talked to the pirates. You talked to 2 of the members of the party. You have 3 more party members involved. Ben and Dimitri have been outside keeping watch, making sure nobody skedaddles.
I thought this was all like in like the next day or something.
This is
still the day after.
This is all still the day after. We've been busy.
Yeah,
So we got 3 more people to.
We got 3 more people. Oh yeah, wait. The turtle lady said something. What was it? Genevieve. Genevieve said something about her being a liar.
Yeah. And with that, Gian wants to open with, "Oh, what was she lying about?"
For one thing, she was lying about Bebo. The last thing that I asked, I believe, was about Bebo, and she flat out lied about that.
What exactly about Bebo did she lie about?
And now, Dane, the DM, out of game, I think I asked her point blank about either buttons.
It was buttons.
Yes.
And she was like, nah, it's fucking buttons.
What the fuck would I know about buttons?
Yeah. And then she was like, you're a liar.
Exactly. I believe Bebo is not all that he says he is. Either an imposter or something more sinister than that.
You think it is not the real Bebo?
True.
Why would she lie about the Bebo thing and the buttons?
And that is
an
excellent question, Gian.
Gian goes and knocks on her door.
Hey!
There she is. Hello, Emily. Bienvenue. Jules' character has not been introduced yet, so don't ask. Sorry.
Okay, you just got off work. It's fine.
Murder is on
the foot.
Anyway, we were just reviewing about everything that you just did. Talking to pirates, talking to tiny little assholes, talking to pretty but cold ladies. Oh, and of course, buttons.
So much jam and buttons.
I have had a case from my past that involved a particular sexual fetish about various shiny things, but I do not believe that is the nature of this case.
Well then,
let us talk about this later. Definitely over
we
another
don't need
meal.
to talk about this later. I was just bringing.
But I mean, but can we though? I don't know.
But I did knock on the lady's door again.
Oh Jesus!
She opens it a crack and says, "What do you want?"
Well, why were you lying about the buttons?
I wasn't lying about the buttons.
I
slam.
Yeah,
I hold Gian back from knocking a second time.
Isabel said that she saw like some dude in red with a beard climbing up the cliff or something.
Some dude in red.
We're climbing up to the
climbing a cliff.
Up to his balcony, right? Not.
You knock on the next door.
Why?
And a young man answers, who does not have a beard, but instead, Jules, would you describe your character, please?
Yeah, so Thielen Ilfkir is a half elf. He is fairly tall and kind of just like say like frail, little willowy, who's olive skinned, and he has a more like long and slender face, the slightly more pointed nose, kind of like a prominent brow with like dark mark eyebrows, straight, well kept hair, kind of like elven style braids in it. He wears just like very clean clothes. He has like very muted, just kind of like gray, well kept trousers, gray vest with a white shirt, except he does wear a really fancy coat. He's got like a really long floor length blue and silver coat that has like some gold stitching on it of like some like family insignia, and he kind of holds himself like really proudly. He is very hoity-toity.
And you all can tell this at a glance.
Sorry, what was that name again, though?
Theo. How can I help you all?
We're here to see mate, who are we here to see?
Are you Telemar?
I am not. Can I ask what is this about? What are you all? That I look around, you notice a distinct kind of just like not as severe as disgust, but I am grossed out. So I'm just kind of like, what do you need? What do you want?
So from behind you, Theo, you hear, and the rest of you also hear, "Oh, Theo, who's at the door?"
I have absolutely no idea.
And you open the door.
peeking
From
in.
behind you, the door opens a little bit wider, and this half-elven gentleman in a
Oh boy.
bright green cloak and and I'm gonna say he's got a glass of wine in his hand. Sure.
So this is the extent of this man's beard.
This is the extent of this man's beard. Oh, are we to have guests?
I say that looks more like the Commonwealth has vomited near our doorstep.
Oh, come now, Theo, please.
We are actually here on business of the Office of the Crown. We are here to investigate the unfortunate murder of Galen Primewater.
Oh, that's right. That did happen yesterday, didn't it?
And we believe that you, Mr. Telemar Granger, is that?
Saltmarsh Granger, yes, that's right. Silk
Tim-
merchant of renowned. Everyone, please excuse my friend Theo. I brought him to get some more culture, and I believe he was also interested in the area for some reason.
Yes. I had just left wait, am I doing this in character?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. I had just left university and was told that I needed to experience more of the world in order to gain clarity, but I feel like I could just write the formula and eventually it'll all come along.
Oh, always in your head, Theo. No. You must experience Skyfall. It is a beautiful event, even if it was marred by murder.
Jesus, we've been like, what, 12 different places in the last
Oh my
2 hours?
Tell me about it. Oh, everyone, come in.
I'm gonna actually quickly wire a message to Ben
Okay.
and just say, "Oi, mate, how's the outside looking? Anything out of the mist? We're moving through the people here, and not some progress, but nothing concrete. Anything new?"
It's incredibly boring out here. If you don't mind hurrying it along.
Genevieve leans over to you, Timber, and says, if you are talking to Monsieur Tannins, would you let him know that his judge of character may be needed up here?
You think maybe we can just have Dimitri sit out front?
Oh, thank God. I'll be right there. You weren't quite sure how someone appeared behind Timber as quietly as they did.
Oh, come now. It's fine. We're experiencing local culture. Now, what do you all need to talk to me about?
Oh, Theo, you were there.
Yes, but I don't like parties. I don't.
He had his nose in a book most of the time, the silly boy.
Mr. Granger and Mr. Ilfilkir.
Please. You can call me Tellenmar, please.
All right. Could you inform us about any oddities of the night from your perspective?
Oddities. You mean besides Bebo getting drunk as a skunk? I guess that's not as odd as one would think. He's so small, that amount of drink will go right to your head.
How drunk are we talking?
I would say Bebo got as drunk as fell over. He was getting sloppy. These things just, it's all the same. Parties are the same. The only thing that made this party any different was Skyfall itself.
Oh, the murder made it different too.
Oh, I guess so. Yes. Murder.
Do you go to a lot of parties with people where people are murdered? I don't know. Maybe that's what you do.
Oh, let me think.
That would be a very interesting common denominator, I tell you.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it? What if I was cursed? Oh, I hope I'm not cursed.
You're not cursed. I checked when I got here.
Thank you, Theo. That's why I keep him around.
Could perhaps you give us a sort of a rundown of events
The
as you
night's
saw them?
events?
Yes.
Oh,
From your perspective.
certainly. Well, first, Lady Lamara was late, and everyone thought that was, well, I thought that was pretty juicy, but what are you going to do? And Theo, of course, was reading, brought a textbook or something about thermo something. I don't even remember.
Thermonuclear power. It's going to be the future.
Sure. Gobbledygook. There was some music, some light hors d'oeuvres. They had fresh fish, well, not as fresh as you'd think. There were several like vintages of wine that I found very interesting. There were some from at least 75 years ago that I thought tasted a little too like almost nutty, you know? Like wine isn't supposed to taste nutty. It's supposed to have a freshness.
Well, as much as we appreciate how the wine was, appreciate the detail, fellows. I think we're more interested in the happenings around with the people, with the folk. Were there any?
Oh, right.
Unless the wine did it. I mean, I don't know.
Unless you thought the wine was poisoned, in
I
which
mean, it wasn't that bad, Miss Cinder. Anyway, Jerry Acapulco wore the worst jacket I have ever seen.
oh, for the love of God!
He
What? How bad? How
went
bad are we
around
talking?
acting as if he wasn't wearing some sort of circus tent. And it was. I think it was literally made out of a circus tent. Theo, do you think it was made out of... Oh, you're taking a rip. It's fine. Jerry Acapulco, acting a fool. I've never heard of him before tonight. He says he's some sort of rock and soil magnate. I don't even know what that is.
This is funny just to me.
It's a
That
joke
was a
for
joke
only
just for
Jimmy.
me.
Jerry had arrived several days before. He had taken his time. He's more new to the well, I guess successful business
Social scene.
scene.
Mm.
Yes.
It is invite only. I wonder what's. I mean, if he is a
a
magnate,
new
I don't know.
prospect, a new prospect of Gellens. He always liked to tap, underutilized markets
But
and
if he liked
develop
dirt,
them.
if he liked dirt so much, he's going to be 6 feet underneath it from now on.
Yeah, Jerry Acapulco seems as if he's from an entire different world. Later in the party, Gellin went into his office, and then he didn't come back, and then he was murdered, I guess.
Did he say anything before he left?
Not to me.
Did you notice Lady Damara leaving after Mr. Solomar?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, what was that? What was that, Theo?
Went after. Oh, sorry, Theo.
Theo mumbled under his breath, everyone noticed Lady Amara.
Fair enough. But yes, Lamara went after him, and then she returned to the party.
Did
I
anyone-
mean,
You're the only one to leave the party.
I went after him first, of course, because
You
I
did.
Where did you? What reason did you have to go after him?
I was worried about him. He seemed stressed.
Hmm.
How did your conversation go?
Aye.
Oh, fairly smooth. He seemed preoccupied, of course. He always had so much on his plate, but I felt like after our conversation, he felt a little bit better. He's real hard to read. He seems to have this layer of sarcasm and beguiling wit, and you're a little distracted by his flashy smile.
Yeah.
So this is a bigger room. It's got a bed and a couch and a small table with several small wooden chairs. There is a mirror, which is kind of odd. Oh, nice keyboard, Spence. There's a mirror that's wreathed in seashells, which is super fancy. And yeah, you get the feeling that Telmar shelled out a little bit more for this room. Make an investigation check, Ben, and if you don't want him to notice, a stealth check. Yeah, so you're able to he's really getting into the storytelling, and he's like having this like fun repartee with Theo, like he's almost showing off like how much he knows and how well they know each other. So he's sufficiently distracted for you to go around, and you notice that several of the fine garments are missing buttons. After our conversation, he seemed somewhat subdued, and then I joined for the rest of Skyfall.
So, to be clear, he was upset, and you talked him down.
Well,
You say subdued,
relaxed.
but
And at this point, Genevieve comes in and says, "You are having an affair with Monsieur Primewater. Is this true or not?"
Well, no, I would assume.
At this point, Telemar's face goes stony cold, and he says, "I'm sorry, why would you say that?" And she says, "Well, it is somewhat apparent that you had a close relationship to the point where you could calm him down this way. And judging by the testimony of Lady Lamara, who is a former lover of his, she was not able to do this. I am only assuming that you two are romantically involved in some way?" "No."
Theo looks at Telmar and is just like, a relationship.
"No, Theo, we were not involved whatsoever."
Well, they seem to think that.
"Well, if an old little tortoise lady comes up and tells you the sky is green, would you trust her? You all need to leave my room now, please, including you, Theo."
Genevieve was
Is it
right.
apparent
Oh.
that he's
Theo
lying through his
storms
teeth
out of
here?
the house, slamming every door he can behind him.
24, natural 20.
Whoa!
Woo!
Oh,
"You see through this man like a plane of glass." He was deeply in love with Gellin Primewater. "Out of my room!"
Oh, well,
Before we go, just to make sure, you didn't kill him, did you?
"No."
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Theo is at this time downstairs in the tavern. He is crying while holding on to a barmaid who clearly wants to get him off her immediately.
Her name is Hannah, and she is not happy.
He is not a drinker, but he is drinking heavily at this point.
Sure. Sure.
Did anyone see buttons around around Galen Primewater's room? Because did he like strip them off Telemar's coat? Like he was missing buttons all over that coat.
I look straight at Genevieve. I'm like, buttons.
Buttons again? Are you kidding me?
Why did you ask this question, Tenants?
For a man so well dressed and with such nice silks, you'd think he'd be able to have a button correctly affixed to his garments, but they were missing on nearly every garment I saw.
Buttons.
Buttons again.
Did you guys see buttons at this stage? Like, what do you?
This is the third person we've interviewed now that's had some irregularity with buttons. First, Bebo had pockets full of loose buttons, loose jam, and then loose buttons in loose jam, and then and then there was something else about buttons in Lamaris' room. What was it?
I think Genevieve just asked.
Oh yes. Well, Genevieve asked her, and she was shady about it. And now fucking Granger's missing buttons off of this. What the fuck?
Theo overhears the commotion about buttons from across the bar and goes, and that little fucking freaky fuck tried to steal the buttons off of my family coat. And at this point, he takes out his dagger and says, but I swore I would stab him. And that's when Hannah immediately shoves him to the floor and is just like, okay, no. And so he is on the floor, just like, think of like a sad cat that sits weird, but like holding his dagger out crying.
What did you say about buttons, mate? And I give you I pour you some water out of my canteen.
I take it thinking still that it's some sort of booze and just completely like slam it back and just like come back thinking I'm drunker. I might not be physically, but emotionally, yes, I am. No idea. It was just one day I was walking over from the market and someone passed by me. I thought they were trying to steal my buttons. Threatened to stab them like you would. And then Theo starts to just kind of like lean forward into the table. It was just like, let's stab them. As Theo is like laying on the table, he's just mumbling. He's just like, goblins gonna get the buttons. He's twitching.
Did you say goblins are going to get your buttons? What?
Goblins.
Goblins and buttons. All I'm hearing is goblins and buttons. Wait, hold on. I thought Bebo was a halfling.
Half-elf.
Bebo is reporting that he is in fact a gnome.
He's a gnome. Hold on. Could he be not a... Oh, what if Bebo's a goblin in disguise?
What if indeed?
Ooh,
Bebo is in fact a goblin.
Okay, so going on this running theory, why though?
Well, goblins love those, the small and shiny, and the sweets. I mean, it would make sense why he has just a pocket full of buttons and jam.
I think we should talk to our last. Our last two charges. We are running out of time, and I do not know if this has to do with the murder.
All right. I kind of like lean into the other guys. Oi, folks. Do you think maybe Frissy Pants here might be of some help? I mean, he does know the folk.
Way upstairs, and the final, or not the final, but the door at the very end of the hall is actually already open. And inside at a similar small wooden table, there are two figures. One is a human male, looks to be in his mid to late 40s with a little bit of silver hair and a great big smile on his face. But and then sitting at the table with him is a gray-skinned tiefling with long swept back horns and a somewhat stern look on her face. He stands up when he sees you coming down the hall and he says, "Hey, yeah, you all come on in. we're next, huh? So come on in.
Guessing you're Mr. Acapulco.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Jerry Acapulco. Everyone, this is my associate, Granger Perry. And she says, yes, hello. I guess you're all going to be wanting to ask us questions or something, right?
Yes.
That is the general run of things. Cinder?
Yeah, I figured. All right. Well, we were both at the party. We don't know who killed Gellin. I'm kind of pissed about it because we were going to have some big plans going, and now he's dead, and that's fucked. So I don't know what you want. I didn't kill a guy.
Perhaps you can just. They're both just chilling here, right?
Yeah, it looks like they've been talking and drinking together.
Okay. If perhaps you both could tell us your sort of timeline of events as you see them. Anything that stands out per your perspective.
Well, yeah, that little freak Bebo was going around spilling shit all over everyone. And I was trying to make all the connections I can. I hadn't been to one of these fancy schmancy parties before.
We hear you are a magnate.
I am. You could call me that.
While he is speaking, I'm like subtly flipping the wire to Ben and just sending one word and just sending 3 words. Look for buttons.
I'll respond right.
Just all mental.
Right. And I'll start kind of shifting to the side as inconspicuously as possible and starting to take a once over on the room and garments and anything that stands out.
Also,
yeah, I mean, the rock and soil business, you wouldn't think it's that lucrative, but I tell you what, some people really like marble, and I deal in marble too. And some farmers need viable soils from different places to different places. So the rock and soil business is a lot more subtly nuanced than you'd think.
It sounds very interesting.
I could go on. I tell you what.
Well, maybe after the timeline.
Wait, no.
Oh, right.
In the dirt. Like, why would someone buy dirt? It's dirt.
I just told you, you big lug. Sometimes there's better dirt than other dirt.
I mean, don't you need dirt to make? Stone.
I like to say that dirt allows people to grow money, and when the farmers hear that, they just gold in their eyes. I tell you what, there's a chump grown every day, but. In terms of the party, I was going around. I was trying to help people out. I was trying to show them that I knew how to have a good time, but I was a professional as well. Gellin got me into the.
Can I make an insight check? Because I genuinely think he might be Nick Bones in some kind of disguise. So I want to know, like, I want to know, how do I find any bit of him familiar? Do I just see kind of on the up and up? Just a general insight. All right, here's my insight. That'll be a 5.
You keep catching like angles of his face that seem familiar, but like it's like watching an MC Escher painting. It just it kind of like comes in and out, and you feel like you got something, and then you lose it. I mean, you feel like it, and then you lose it, and then ultimately you decide that he's just too hard to read.
Okay. All right.
So you are schmoozing.
I was schmoozing. Yeah, that's right. I was schmoozing, and down at my parent plant, I put on this festival every year, and I put on like pony rides for the kids, and try and get the whole community together. And I learned that from Gellin Prime Water, because he came in and he was like, do you need to ship your things? And I was like, yes, I do. I have a lot of heavy things that need to be shipped. Whatever the case, I was telling people that if you put on festivals for the people in your community, they'll fucking love you for it. And I've been doing that ever since. Anyway, so I'm drinking my my beer, and I'm going around and I'm talking to people, and that what's his name down there, Telmar Granger guy, he's just like laughing. He's laughing at Bebo, and Bebo's being an asshole. And I thought that Gellin got pissed off and left. But then Granger went in, and he was gone for like a while. He was gone for like 20 minutes. And then he came back, and then that lady Lamara person, she went. And she wasn't gone for that long. And she
How long do you figure? Ballpark.
probably like 10. I don't own a watch. Watches don't exist.
What about
So
the sundial, a night sundial?
I didn't even have a night sundial. Or like one of them arcane deals that shows you how many steps you walk, you know? It tells
Oh
you
yes, yes.
different messages. That
Some people hate them. Some people love them. I hear.
It's true. The divisive issue. Anyway.
Ben's eyes narrow, and I'm going to step next to Timber and be like, there's suddenly a reason for Lamara to have motive here. Did she echo the same timeline that we were just told?
She never said anything about Telmar going down first.
At that, I'm going to be like, I got a door to guard.
Right, mate.
Where's your ranger friend going? He's busy or something?
He's got to follow up on another lead. Now, my friend, I would very much like to know where exactly you are from. We heard that you were new to this sort of...
Long Island.
No further questions.
It's off the Sword Coast.
It's the
Swear to God,
longest
I have no
island.
questions. I swear to God, that's all I needed.
And so I guess I try and capstone. So you saw Lamara leave and return in about 10 minutes, and then nothing else.
She
struck you?
didn't look happy.
Nobody else left afterwards.
How did Telmar? God damn it! You have me put his accent.
Hey, look at the cat guy.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Forget about it.
Hey,
How did Telmar look when he got back? Was he?
A copycat, isn't he?
I mean, I was.
Gee. Fuck you, Spencer.
Inspiration dispenser.
I was gonna say, if you don't give it to him, I will.
I mean, I wasn't exactly like looking for him, so I don't know. He seemed pretty happy the rest of the night.
He seemed pretty okay.
Yeah. You want to do an insight check on me, Theo? You go. I'm an open book here. Hey, come on, it's Jerry Acapulco. Come on down. Jerry Acapulco's rocking soil. We got pony rides for the kids.
Mr. Acapulco, do you have any like big ponies that I could fit on?
Hey, you want a Clydesdale? I'll get you a Clydesdale, son. I'll get you 4 Clydesdales if you need that. Because I'm a man of the people. I'm here to provide high quality rock and soil to the people of Long Island.
Bless me.
And beyond.
Hey, D&D Beyond, am I right?
Get the fuck out of here. Get the
Hey,
fuck
it's all
out
meta
of
from
here.
here, baby. Hey, you're dealing with Jerry Acapulco. You don't know what's going to come up next.
Is an insight check happening?
Hey, who's going to insight check me? Come on,
Yeah,
I'm waiting for it.
If it's possible for like Theo to like He's kind of like slumped over on Timber's shoulder at the moment.
Sure.
For him to kind of like whisper is like, if you wanted to look into the sky, I could help you out. And then like leans up and gives him a kiss on the cheek, and then uses that the cantrip guidance to
Yeah,
I get
you
it.
give it another check.
No, I get a D4. I get a D4 added to my insight.
There you go. Go for it.
Okay, insight check. Oh man, I really hope that D4 is something good. I hope that's a 4.
Roll me something good.
It's a 12. 12. Thanks.
You are fairly certain that Jerry Acapulco is wearing one of those things. One of the tight things. What are they?
Thanks.
corset.
A corset?
No, what's the one to keep the belly in? Not
Thanks.
just a corset.
A corset? Yeah.
Starts with a G.
Girder.
Girdle.
A girdle. A girdle. Okay, but he seems trustworthy enough. Cool.
Hey, I'm pretty trustworthy. Jerry Acapulco, come on down.
I kind of pat Theo on the back and say, "All right, mate, I appreciate it, but I think he's on the open up."
I got fine grain sands. I got coarse grain sands.
All right, maybe not that.
We will hear all about your dirt in another time. Yeah, and I look at
I got DG for
the
days.
tiefling- the
That's
tiefling woman.
decomposed granite. It's the best. you're gonna
Yes, yeah, we immediately move over to the tiefling.
and what of you, Miss Perry? What say you?
I didn't kill him.
Well,
It's pretty
Jeez.
much as the fool here has said, but he's the only one who will talk to me, and I can't stand the other three, even more than I can't stand him. I'm more friends with Ida Owlin than anyone else, but
Ida.
I see.
Gellin was a good business contact in most senses. Yeah, he had hella money. That guy was fucking loaded. Oh my god.
Ida is the other council member, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
she's the one that announced
Yeah.
it, and she was at the party, right? Dane?
She's the one who discovered Gellin dead.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Nobody's mentioned that part in
Yeah,
any of the timelines.
Nobody mentioned that. We just thought she was the one who announced it. We didn't know she found him.
The Fireborn said that.
Oh shit! You always investigate the 911 caller. Absolutely, it could be a self-report.
Sus.
He's looking
Sus as
real
fuck.
sus.
Super sus.
Anyway, I did notice what's his name? Telemar when he came back, and he seemed pretty damn pleased with himself.
Right. So, all right. I think we have all we need here. I look to Genevieve.
Oui.
Right. Well then, we won't take any more of your time unless Cinder.
Just if we may return if need be, but
Did either of you notice how often Bebo went to the restroom? And Jerry Acapulco is like, what kind of a fucking question's that? Go to the bathroom.
I mean he drank a lot of alcohol. This is a fair point.
Didn't leave the room the entire fucking time.
This is odd. I look at
And we heard he was like kind of, throwing himself about. Was he bumping into people a lot, hanging on to folk?
Yes, he was all over. He was such a mess. It was awful. It was embarrassing, really.
I have a strange question. This is.
I think I was going to ask the
both.
same thing, Cinder.
What sort of hors d'oeuvres were at this party? Were there jams and?
I was definitely
things
not
like
asking
that?
the same thing, Cinder.
Was there jam on offer?
Well, there
at
was
this party.
asparagus and bacon.
Oh man, that's cool.
Okay.
Salads. And yes, I believe there were raspberry jam tarts. Why? What does that have to do with murder?
I looked to Barney. What flavor was it?
Not engaging.
What the fuck is going on? Why are you asking about fucking raspberry tots?
Sir, you don't want to know. Last question we'll ask, and I promise this is the very last weird one. If you wouldn't mind taking a look at yourselves and the clothes you were wearing that night, are there any buttons missing off of those clothes?
What?
Were there any buttons missing off of the clothes that you were wearing from that night?
She looks at Jerry. Jerry looks at her. He goes, and she goes. And then she gets up, gracefully walks into the next room, and she yells, "That motherfucker!" And Jerry goes over to another jacket that looks like a circus tent and says, "Where the fuck went my buttons?" And what's her name? Gretchen marches right across the hall and goes, "Dum dum 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 dum." Bebo, you son of a bitch!
Oh,
get out
Jesus!
here. And he
Jesus!
says, "No, I won't." And she says, Bebo, get out here right now. What have you done with our buttons? And Jerry says, "Ah, jeez, this is bad." And then Bebo opens the door and says, "They're mine! You can't take them away!" And then she says, "Bebo, I swear to God, each of those buttons is worth more than everything you own. Give me my personal effects." And he says, and slams the door.
I think we definitely have a goblin.
While this is going on, can I start banging on Lady Lamara's door?
Wait, what?
And
Wait, hold on. We have a suspect, but we want to tell her now.
No.
she opens the door and says, "Is the little freak going crazy?"
It appears so. I just have to follow up with this little freak. Do you mind pulling out the gown you were wearing for the evening of the party and inspecting it for any missing buttons?
That gown didn't have any buttons.
Are you quite certain? Do you mind if I check? This is quite important.
I do mind. Slam.
Oh! I heard this. I heard the whole fucking thing. I was there. Me and Ben, we're bros. We're bros. We're tight. We're tight as fuck.
She looks over at you all and is like, sorry, Gretchen, and says, "What the hell is going on here?"
I grabbed Gian.
Gian, no, Gion's gonna be like, calm down. This is just buttons. We're looking for someone who killed someone, though. This isn't very important right now.
I'm gonna go up to Theo and ask, do you recall Lady Lamara's dress yesterday evening?
It was a long blue slinky number that was bereft of buttons. It did not have any buttons.
I sort of look at
That I do remember. I do.
I look at Gian and I'm like, hey, I know there's like a murder, and that is the most important thing. But how would you like to break down a door?
Oh, I mean, I'll always break down a door. If you want to break down a door, just point to a door.
I point to Bebo's door.
Oh God!
Make a strength check.
Can I wait as it goes up? Can I give him a crowbar?
I think he's probably just gonna brute strength it, but
Yeah.
While holding the crowbar?
Yeah, while holding the crowbar, he just
Yeah.
kicked it in.
great.
That's definitely what happens. I like that.
Is that exactly what happens?
I'm gonna give you, Spencer. I'm gonna give you advantage because you think
Good.
you're stronger with the crowbar inside.
And
That's good.
That's a natural 20.
So you bust down the door. Everyone comes in to the room, and Bebo isn't even there. But you hear a like high-pitched laugh come from underneath the bed.
Oh, fucking course.
We
I'm gonna like just dive for him.
No, I think Gion's got something going.
Oh,
What's up,
Gian.
we literally have people down in that alleyway waiting for exactly this right now.
Oh,
Well, no, so he's just snickering underneath the bed.
The bed. Oh.
I'm snatching the crowbar from Gian and glaring at him as I put it back in my pack.
Thank you very much, Mr. Towns.
it made me stronger.
Timber, did you want to do something?
I am. Does he look?
You can't see him. You just hear him under the bed.
Okay, I am diving under the bed to try to grab him.
See, huh?
I'm trying to stand in the doorway like with Gian if Gion's standing there as well, just to
Sure.
block anything coming out.
You see underneath the bed with a pile of sticky buttons wrapped his long. Now that you see it, his fingers are way longer than they need to be, and his smile has reached across his face, and his teeth are needly, and there are patches of his skin that have been smeared, and he says, "They're mine! Stay away from my buttons!" And he starts like licking them and spitting them out.
I just go, holy fucking shit, and I just kind of scramble out and just go, we definitely have a goblin.
So
I'm not a goblin, I'm a gnome!
I step near the bed and I cast prestidigitation, and I make it look like there is just a shiny pile of buttons on the floor just right outside the bed.
You hear, buttons! And he reaches out and he tumbles out, and you all see just the mess, like the fake, the pasted on jowl or mutton chops are starting to fall down. His wig is on all cattywampus. His eyes have turned a bright green, and his teeth just keep going. And they're thin and needly, and he says, "They're mine! They're mine! Oh! Where'd they go?"
Yeah, Theo, you literally just got this out, and then...
I start kicking him just a little bit, just like I like not for hurting him, just kind of like get it away.
I am Bebo Cottonquallop.
I look back
the
at
most powerful general goods.
I'm gonna try to grab him by the collar. I'm gonna try to grab him by the collar and just go, eh.
I look back at Gretchen and I'm.
Let me go, you stupid son of a bitch! I'll fucking kill you! Go ahead, Jimmy.
I want to look back at Gretchen and just say, "Is this normal?"
I've never seen anything like this before.
Okay.
Kicks you in the armpit and you drop him. And he goes to run out the window.
Can I try and grab him as well?
Dexterity check, please.
I'd like to as well.
In that, can I try to message Dimitri? Dimitri, alleyway, window.
Sure. So Gian, Dex, Ben, Dex.
It's an athletics contest.
Athletics. Give me an athletics. That
Okay.
sounds fine.
23.
He goes and you grab him by the scruff and you actually hold him out far enough and are able to lift him up. And he's fighting.
I'm going to additionally use this to say that I splash rose water on him.
Oh yeah, you still have rose water.
As soon as you do this, he goes limp in your hand.
Did you kid him?
No, I just cleaned him up a little bit.
The dirty boy.
He says, I'm sorry. I lost myself there for a moment. I'm sorry.
Does he still look like a goblin?
Yeah, he's completely goblin-y.
What is happening here, Bebo?
What the fuck is going on?
Please explain yourself.
Lady Lamara comes in and says, with a limp, wet, dripping, half-costumed goblin in your hand,
What in the fuck is going on here?
Lady Lamara comes out, steps past Ben Tannins,
And shoots the goblin in the face.
and says,
Shut
"Oh, Bebo, you really just lost it, didn't you?"
Did you know something about this, Lamara?
Yes,
What?
Ellen and I have known about Bebo's secret for quite a long time.
Pretty big secret, or a little secret, maybe.
This is very mom, dad, and baby in the attic.
Well,
Did Lamara leave her door open?
she did leave her door open.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it!
So she begins to tell a tale. She says, Galen found Bebo, at the time Jezerk, in a mining town, in the mountains, on one of Galen's travels, and well, he befriended Bebo and found that he had an incredibly excellent business acumen. Galen recognizes a natural-born entrepreneur when he sees one and set the fellow up with a new identity and investment capital, and of course took a little off the top of all of Bebo's.
How did he learn these things?
How did I?
How did he learn business acumen?
He just had a natural gift for commerce. Mistress Cinder, please do not underestimate the goblins. They are a crafty race. They are a group that will get what they want come hell or high water.
I look over at fucking Bebo and I say, quiet.
So, did you say I could find the dress or I could not find the dress?
You did find the dress.
I did find it. Okay. I'd like to leave the room with the dress discreetly, and I'm planning on handing it to. Damn it, I'm forgetting the turtle's name.
Genevieve.
Genevieve. Thank you.
Anyway, she says, over the years, Bebo has become quite successful, and it seems as if this particular Skyfall was just too much for him. I noticed his erratic behavior at the party and was afraid that he was going to out himself. One of the things that I talked to Gelen about when I went to see him, he didn't care, of course. He had other things on his mind.
Yes?
He was suspicious.
What was that?
He was suspicious
Of what or whom?
that he felt that someone was after him to take over his council seat.
The council seat. Who did he name any suspicions?
Of course not. He didn't tell me anything specific. But when I went down to check on him, he was at that window as if he was looking for a sign or something. I don't know.
This is who is speaking? I'm sorry. This is Lamara?
Lady Lamara.
Okay.
Anyway, of course, he wouldn't tell me anything specific, but he was fairly sure somebody had it out for him, and I guess that came to pass, didn't it? But Yellen was just so full of secrets. For the first time, it's as if you're seeing her speak, like, as herself, instead
Okay.
of whatever facade she puts forward. The mask has come off, and she is frustrated. She has pity for this creature, and she is hurt by the passing of somebody that she cared for.
Hmm. So okay, so I believe her when she's saying she went in and talked to Gellin and then left the room.
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Sorry, please continue.
Well, I believe this is the question for the group. What do we do with this goblin? I believe if the authorities find out that a goblin was at the party, he will, of course, be implicated in the murder.
Well then, he doesn't do much harm, does he? And I'm asking Lamara.
She looks and she takes a deep breath. And Jerry Acapulco says, well, I mean, he's a fucking asshole, but he ain't no murderer.
Well then, all we saw was a halfling getting drunk. Or sorry, a gnome.
I'm a gnome!
Exactly, yes you are. A gnome.
I mean, I'm a gnome.
That's all we saw. Just a gnome getting drunk.
May I have my personal effects? I will, of course, return the button.
You will return the buttons, and you will remember this kindness we have done you this day.
I will take my take a dagger out of my belt and kind of take the bottom button of my like swashbuckler's coat, pop it off, and say, "Here, maybe it'll hold you over." A nice shiny golden. It's not real gold, but shiny.
What do you want? What do you
No.
want for this?
Just don't go crazy.
Oh,
Try not to go crazy.
Yes, John?
wait, but Bebo, did you kill?
Gian!
He takes the button and he bites it and he looks at it and he says, Gellin Primewater was my closest friend. He believed that a goblin could be more than what everyone believes goblins to be. I know that he was unsavory, and maybe that is why he believed in someone as myself, but I did not kill Gellin Primewater.
Well, we're not here
He
to...
just starts sucking on the button.
No!
What is up with the jam, by the way?
I just like jam.
He really likes jam, I guess.
Like,
I've been under a lot of pressure, okay? I mean, I've been under a lot of pressure, okay?
okay.
Goblins tend to like, things that are shiny or sweet. It's just it's a ratio.
And I'm like holding my tongue for a second, and then I'm like, okay, but like you scoop the jam out of the tarts and like you put it in your pocket.
Just
like,
mate. Just, you don't...
You could just stuff your pockets full of the tarts. It'd be
Listen,
easier. And no one would know.
Cinder, we'll put it real clear for you. It's like me with the string and the yarn. We don't like to talk about it. It just happens.
Yes, but if there was a whole ball, you would take the whole ball, put it in you wouldn't just
I'm
scoop
also
out the middle part of the yard.
gluten-free, if that means anything.
Oh, okay, that's all I needed.
Not really.
I hate you.
I tell you, I get so itchy.
They were whole wheat tarts. Was the thing.
And Beppo, goblin or not, you have to be nicer to Hannah because you're being really mean to her, and it's
The
not.
servant girl? I mean,
Bebo. Gian is right.
Remember that button.
I guess I'm out of this shithole by tomorrow.
Pay for the door before you leave.
Well, for a bunch of people who are letting go of a goblin, you're all kind of assholes also.
Well, yeah, so are you.
Hey, also,
Fair
out of
enough.
character, everyone,
So Telemar's the only one who didn't come rushing out. I turned to Theo. Did Telemar go anywhere else throughout the rest of the night after Lamara had returned?
I know the last I saw him, I was talking to someone. I was trying to introduce them to my new device. I have yet to come up with a name for it, and he pulls out this like this magnifying glass that has like a telescopic thing on it, and pulls it out. I was like, I call it a little looker. Then the last place that I saw, who were you asking?
Telemar.
Telmar, okay, yes. And then yes, he did. He did leave for a little bit. He left me, which was why I went back to my book.
Did you see where he went?
I was out the front door. Yeah.
I believe that Edda was at her home at the time. I'm not sure why she came to the party. She abhors fancy dress parties.
So point of order. When did she leave the party?
She was never at the party.
She did not show up at all.
She was never there. Apparently she came.
Gellin knew that Ida just really didn't go in for social affairs.
Okay, but she was at the house.
She came in later, I suppose.
Well, fine. She was never expected to be at the party.
Much
But-
nice, yes.
Yeah, she was never expected to be at the party, but she was at his home for some reason and found him dead. Why was she at his house? And where did Telemar go, and why isn't he here?
Knock very sort of
Ostentatiously.
yeah. Hello, Mr. Telomar. Come out, wherever you Telomar.
You open up and Telemar is at the windowsill. Tears are streaming down his face. His eyes are red and puffy from crying. He has clutched to his chest what looks like a jeweled dagger scabbard. So something to hold a dagger.
Oh, didn't we find a jeweled dagger in the safe?
And
Yes.
he says, leave me alone.
What is this? What are you holding?
Where'd you get that?
I'd like to immediately make my way outside to try to get in front of his window.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Dimitri's just been standing there this entire time, just going like,
Yeah. Yep. That he has. So he says, can you just leave me alone?
What is that you are holding, I insist?
It was a gift.
From?
A friend.
I know you are lying. Come on.
You don't know that.
I definitely do. And I step, I go in the room now, and I'm kind of just arms crossed like this. Come on.
Listen,
You are looking real sus right now.
He says, this is none of your business. This is between me and Gellin.
I'm kind of just, I think I'm just standing
What do you
there.
want? He's dead. He's dead and gone,
We
and he won't
want-
come back.
Information that you are not giving us?
The only information I have is that Gellin didn't want me anymore. Is that what you want to hear? He didn't want me anymore.
And this was the 20-minute conversation you had?
Might have been.
Where did it seems to me a strange gift, the scabbard of a blade.
Oh, he
and not the
didn't give
blade
it to me
itself.
then.
Why would he gave you half a set? He gave you half the set.
It's a keepsake to remember him by. This man's soul is being bared to you at this point. You have not seen a more truthful man in your life.
I look back. I think he's telling the truth. Okay, so but walk me through this. What is the significance of? Is it like a friendship like necklace, like the two hearts?
It's
You know,
friendship. We were very good friends, so he gave me a priceless
Roommates.
dagger scabbard. Yes,
just gals being pals.
just gals being gals. That's what it was. Yes.
Like,
Can't get anything past you.
Would they not give? If he really loved you, he'd give you the whole sword.
This is between me and Gellin, and I will not take your judgment. Now, either get out of my room or say what you want.
did you kill him?
I would be lying if I hadn't thought of it. But no.
Do you know who did?
He spoke of Anders Saltmarsh in not the best terms.
Hmm. Did he
That's-
speak in?
Because
He
Solmar
didn't
wants
like him. Go on, Gian.
But he wouldn't have killed him because he asked us to investigate who killed him, and then like
What better way to throw off the scent?
oh, but he really trusts us to find out who did this.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Oh, that's wonderful. How good for you.
I sort of look back into the hallway and everybody else that is still standing out there, and I sort of just say, what do you all think?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Honestly, this is a lot. This is
I'm
a whole lot.
I'm pointedly like I'm asking everybody, but I'm looking at Lamara.
She is complicated. On the outside, you can tell she's holding her shit. But there is a mixture of anger and jealousy and rage and like almost sympathy. And it's all just bubbling up in there, and like she's already like emotionally compromised by the death of Gellin, B this outburst with Bebo, and now she's seeing this play out in front of her because she knows the feeling. She's been through it. She's been rejected by Gellin.
So, oh no, go on. Sorry.
So there's this subtle resentment, pity, and like just like seething hatred that is just really, really interesting to see.
Okay, and then what does she respond with?
Nothing. She's not saying bullshit.
And what about Gretchen then, I guess?
Gretchen's trying to find her buttons.
Sure.
Oh
So
man,
what?
were those buttons really like that expensive, Gretchen?
Jesus.
Yes, they were that expensive.
She's like going through the sticky buttons.
100 gold per button.
Oh my god!
I'm telling you what.
Why
That's
would
like
you
a-
So,
buttons?
All right, so let's break this down. Let's break this down. Saltmarsh was sleeping with Miss Lamara.
Not Solmar.
Sorry, not Saltmarsh. Sorry,
Water.
Primewater. Primewater was sleeping with Miss Lamara.
Many years ago. This was a long time ago.
Ended that relationship.
Oui.
At then one point began but her emotions continued on, pined forth. At some point, Primewater and what was the other person's name?
Telemar?
Telemar, yes. Primewater and Telemar engaged in a relationship.
And it seems like he broke it off yesterday.
And it was broken off yesterday.
I sort of look at yeah.
Yeah.
That's the confirmation I needed.
Yeah, and there's that.
I do not think Telemar did this.
Exactly. If we're going with our gut, I agree. Telemar didn't do this, and I don't think Lamar did either.
I do not believe either of them did this murder.
I agree. I don't think it's him. So then, I don't believe any of them.
I don't think Theo did it either.
We've ruled out pretty much everyone at the party. So who does that leave us with but
Ida, Aula,
There is
Ida
and Anders Solmar.
and Anders? So,
I don't know if I've come around at this point. I'd imagine I'd have stomped back around.
Yeah,
at
you're
some
there.
point here. I'd pipe up and be like, perhaps Scarin Wave Chaser.
Scarin Wave Chaser, why?
Well, if I was under Somar, I would send Wave Chaser. He seemed intimidating enough to do the will of Somar and his dirty work without having Somar ever having to leave his estate.
He's the butler? Or the assistant? Wave chaser?
Yeah, he's the dickhead butler.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's always come off as a little intimidating.
Well, he definitely did it.
I think we start with Ida and see if we figure out anything there. If we do, we bring it back to Anders and deliver it. If we don't, we come back to Anders and ask him our questions. Because otherwise, I don't know who the hell did this.
Yes.
We must also not overlook your missing shipmate.
This is true. He is still unaccounted for,
He
as
is
far as we know.
Right.
We have Ida. We need to maybe speak to Bones, Anders,
Well, we
Scarin.
don't know where Bones is. We can't find
Well,
him.
certainly, but he is on our list.
perhaps we must find these bones. Laura goes into Bebo's room and helps him clean up and get all his shit together, and Jerry. Jerry and Gretchen get together and continue their drinking, and what's his name?
Keeps crying. He keeps crying.
Telmar looks to Theo and says, "Theo, I'm sorry, but I need a little more time."
Oh wait, did you say
Theo.
Omar or Telemar?
Telemar.
Telmar says to you, I'm sorry, Theo. We'll leave tomorrow, but I just need a little more time."
I just can't believe you dragged me all the way out here just to be
Oh,
with.
stop it. You knew. And then he closes the door.
I was Theo chimes in at this point and interjects that he has to actually get going the next day. He's like, I was supposed to head out. There was an excavation site that I wanted to be able to visit. Came to this area with Telemar but I was also interested in coming to the area because there's a very rich history. I'm in my field, I've been trying to find a way to combine this element of magic with Academy. I'm not sure. It's where the little looker, the micro spectator, we'll figure out what it's called eventually. That's where that comes into play. But yeah, this area was filled with noblemen who is it the Sul Imperium was a group of noble houses that had vast and unmatched arcane power in this area.
What was the name of the group? Sorry.
It was, the Sul Imperium.
With Theo talking about the history of the town, or at least the area, you remember a half-orc cemetery keeper who you met long ago, who had a penchant for stories and knowledge of the town history. That comes to mind. Barney, yes. What'd you get? 16? So between, just a 6? Straight 6. Barney, you don't know shit.
By the name of Crag. He used to tell stories about that. We might be able to track him down if you might be able to track him down if that was if that was any interest to you.
Yes. Anyone I can interview that has any knowledge in my field is someone that I would be interested in.
Oh, I give Theo the location of the.
Crag. Genevieve doesn't seem terribly like. Ida's not going to be skipping town. You know where Anders lives.
Right.
Oh,
in that case, let's have a drink. Let's sit and have a drink. We have a new friend.
Solve the murder in the first day. Who knows what's going to happen? All hell's going to break loose, or it might be fine. Who knows? I think we are going to end the night, though. So
we'll figure it out.
Next session on Le Salon des Dragons, Sir Peace. We will be figuring out about Ida, digging farther into Saltmarsh's story, and trying to figure out Nicholas Bones. Are there any